Jesus is saying, if you are my disciples, obey the commandments. And then he goes on to talk about the commandment of love, that we have to express our love for God, our love for him. But that can only be done in the way we express our love for one another, or the way we treat each other, the way we talk to each other. That is the only way that we can express our love for God. Jesus is having this conversation with his disciples before he goes back to heaven. And very soon we shall be celebrating Ascension. He's quite emphatic on the commandment of love. This is very important. This is the most important of everything. Everything that he has taught them, this is the most important, the commandment of love. Why is he talking about love so much? In fact, Jesus is not just talking about love. It is not just words that he's giving them. It is something that he has demonstrated throughout his life. When he reached out to those that were in distress, that was him demonstrating love. When he performed miracles for many people that were in need, that was him demonstrating love. When he fed the hungry, cast out demons from those that were possessed, when he reached out to those that were kicked out of the community, that was Jesus expressing love for others. And the disciples were learning from him. They were around when he was doing all that. And so today, before he goes back to heaven, he tells them, if you want to be my disciples, if you want to be configured to me, you cannot do that unless you have love in you, unless you have love in your heart, unless you expressed profound love for me. And in our Christian teaching, we can only express love for God by the way we treat one another. Because you cannot claim to love God if you hate the person that is seated next to you, the person that you live with, or even the person that you are just meeting for the first time, a total stranger. You cannot be a Christian until you express love towards that person. So Jesus is going and he is leaving behind a story of love. Sometimes it is called the legacy of love. And that is what he has taught his disciples. That is what he has shown his disciples. This is how you should live your life. Leave behind the story of love. So that when you are gone, even so many years after you are gone, the people that you leave behind will remain with this story in their hands. They will tell of so many good things that you did while you still lived. There are some people that die and they're immediately forgotten. Or if somebody will have to remember them, then they will have to be remembered for wrong reasons. Because that is what they left. That is how they lived their life. When you die today, when I die today, what is it that people are going to say about me? What about those generations that will come many years after me? What kind of stories will they find about me? The legacy of love, the story of love, is not created at the end of the road. It is created while we are still walking that path, while we are still on that journey. That is how we create the legacy of love. We can't wait until the last minute when we have caused so much damage behind. When we have hurt so many people, we have stepped on so many people's toes. Well, we know conversion happens also at the very last minute. But we don't really have to wait until the last minute. When we still have the energy, when we are still walking the path of this earth, it is the opportunity that God really is giving us to change our ways, to talk to people right, if we have not done well in that area, to just be available for others. And that is how we get configured truly to the image of Christ. We can't call ourselves Christians just by holding the baptism card in our hands. There's something more that we can do. There is a Christian responsibility that comes with that card. Unfortunately, many of us just end with that card. But today Jesus is challenging us. If you want to be my disciple, if you want to be a Christian, demonstrate everything that I've taught you, everything that you have seen me do. Demonstrate all this in your own life. You don't have to know someone for you to reach out to them. It is enough that that person is just as human as you are. If they are in need, reach out to them and do something about their situation. If you have the means, if you have the power. Sometimes the way we live in this life, in this world, you know, they say if you don't know anybody and if nobody knows you, then you are practically on your own. For you to survive, for you to be happy, you have to know somebody. Somebody has to know you. Otherwise, you are just all by yourself. Unfortunately, that is the environment that we have created for ourselves. But Jesus is challenging us, create a warm environment, a warm world, where it is not strange for you to greet a stranger, where everybody is looking out for everybody else. When we manage to create that kind of a world, then we are going to be a happy humanity. Nobody is going to be going to bed hungry, because there will always be somebody to give somebody something to eat. Jesus says, if you love me and you want to be my disciples, love one another. And if you want to say you love me, indeed you love me, first love the person that is next to you. And that is the only way that we demonstrate that we indeed love Jesus as well.